Hello and welcome to Diplomatic Perspective on Global Television. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Stay with me as I bring you an all-angle perspective of global issues. As a matter of fact, let's begin from what is happening in Congo at the moment as the appeal process opens in Democratic Republic of Congo as regarding the Co affair. The appeal process following a trial in which 37 people were sentenced to death over what the army said was a failed coup bid began on Thursday. According to the information, a total of 51 people went on trial in September in the DRC over the alleged May coup attempt, in which they said the army were actually not very ready, but the armed men attacked a minister's home before heading to presidential offices. The appeal process began under a large tent in military prison in the capital, Kinshasa, where those sentences are being held. Among the 37 were 3 Americans as well as a Belgian, Britain and Canadian, who all also had Congolese nationality. Moving away from there to the United States, where Blinken warns China against provocative moves on Taiwan. The U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, warned China on Friday against taking any provocative action on Taiwan after Beijing lashed out over an annual speech by the self-governing democracy's leader. Blinken, speaking in Laos after an East Asia summit, called a speech by Taiwanese President Lai Ching-te, in which he vowed to resist annexation, a regular exercise that if 50% of commercial container traffic goes through the Taiwan Strait every day, more than 70% of the high-ended semiconductors that the world needs are produced on Taiwan. He also said China should not use it in any fashion as a pretext for provocative action. That is the statement that came from Blinken.
I can tell you that with regard to the so-called 10-10 speech, which is a regular exercise, China should not use it in any fashion as a pretext for provocative actions. On the contrary, we want to reinforce, and many other countries want to reinforce, the imperative of preserving the status quo, and neither party taking any actions that might undermine it.
Moving away to other stories still in the United States, where Trump criticizes the United States government as a result of the hurricane. The way the hurricane was actually handled didn't go well with Donald Trump, the former U.S. president, who says the federal government has not done what they are supposed to do during this incident, particularly with respect to the North Carolina. They've let those people suffer unjustly, according to him, referring to recovery effort for Hurricanes Milton and Helene.
Henry McMaster, they were really hit hard, and they've done really a fantastic job. The federal government, on the other hand, has not done what you're supposed to be doing. In particular, with respect to North Carolina, they've let those people suffer unjustly.
Obama, on his own part, blasts Donald Trump in first rally for Harris. According to the former U.S. president, this is coming from Barack Obama, who lashed out at crazy Donald Trump on Thursday and urged voters to back Kamala Harris as he brought his star power to the 2024 election campaign, trailing the first time. As he hit the storm in the must-win state of Pennsylvania, Obama also cheated blackmail voters for what he called hysteria in supporting Democrats Harris because they just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. Obama trained his fire on Trump during a pump-up rally in Pittsburgh comparing the Republicans' long speeches to late Cuban communist leader Fidel Castro and calling the billionaire out to a touch with ordinary people.
Why people are looking to shake things up. I mean, I am the hopey-changey guy. So I understand people feeling frustrated and feeling we can do better. What I cannot understand is why anybody would think that Donald Trump will shake things up in a way that is good for you, Pennsylvania. I don't understand that.
And now the TD Bank to pay more than $3 billion to United States in money laundering case. Talking about Canada's TD Bank has agreed to pay more than $3 billion in penalty for failing to adequately monitor money laundering by drug cartels. U.S. officials said that TD Bank, the 10th largest bank in the United States, has pleaded guilty to multiple felonies, including violating the Bank Secrecy Act and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Attorney General Merrick Garland said, TD Bank created an environment that allowed financial crime to flourish by making its services convenient for criminals, according to Garland, who said this at a press conference. The Attorney General said TD Bank is the first bank in the United States history to plead guilty to conspiracy to commit money laundering. Two TD Bank employees have been charged for involvement in money laundering schemes, and investigation into other employees are on the way. Let's go on a quick break. After this break, we'll return and we'll talk about the relationship between Nigeria and Palestine. As a matter of fact, for time being, there's been a relationship that has existed between Nigeria as a nation and other countries of the world. But today, we will be looking at the mutual and bilateral relationship that exists between Palestine and, of course, Nigeria. Join us after this break. Welcome back. It is still Diplomatic Perspective on Global Television, and like I said before we went on break, we're having a timeout with the ambassador to the Palestinian state, and of course he is going to be talking to us about the relationship between the Palestine and Nigeria. And of course I have right with me today Abdullah Abu Shawesh. All right, well, let's get into the discussion proper. It's good to have you on the program, sir.
Thank you so much indeed for having me, please.
All right, can we have you describe the mutual relationship between both countries, talking about Nigeria and, of course, the Palestinians?
Thank you so much indeed for your very important question. Our relation as a Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO, with Nigeria is a very long time, and it's very deep in history. In 1988, when Chairman Arafat declared the establishment of the State of Palestine in Algeria, Nigeria was one of those countries, one of those states whom recognized the State of Palestine. Before that, we have, of course, a very strong even relation. We have our office. Then this office became Embassy of Palestine to Nigeria. Till the very last moment, we have, of course, our relation with Nigeria is very strong. Just 2 weeks ago, in the General Assembly, Nigeria was supported the Palestinian resolution that came after the advisory opinion of the International Criminal Court.
That's very fantastic. I love that explanation. But now, can we look at the areas of current partnership between Nigeria and, of course, Palestine? Because I know and I think there is a relationship that exists, and that relationship, there should be a partnership, because this has to do with mutual relationship, and there should be something that is coming out of this relationship. So what's the partnership, or how is it like?
Indeed, you cannot talk about the current area. We have our community here. We have the Palestinian community, whom part of them is became Nigerian citizen even. All of them is heavily involved in the a lot of different economic sector in Nigeria. Also, we have also again when it came to the politics, we have a very good and very strong relation. But we can talk about the future. When I came to here and before the latest Israeli battle against the Palestinian people, I came here to develop and to strengthen the bilateral relation in sustainable development issue. We the Palestinians have a lot of absolute relative advantages when it came to the agriculture, for example, drugs manufacturing, I mean medicine manufacturing and drug manufacturing. When it came to the statistical fields, we are one of the top 10 all around the world on the statistical issue. So that we have a lot of relative advantages, and we are ready to share this experience, the Palestinian experience, with Nigeria. Again, in particular, in the agriculture sector, we are well developed and well expert in this field.
I think agriculture is one area that Nigeria is very interested in, because the land of Nigeria is green, of course.
It's very fertilized.
Very fertile.
And also the agriculture sector is labor intensive, which means this will absorb a lot of labor, and labor force, I mean. Also, Nigeria is very rich when it came to the water itself, plus the weather. So that the Palestinian experience with the Nigerian abundance of natural resources, we can make a significant change as a Palestinian.
I think I'm even getting to understand so many things right here. But now, can we know what these two countries are doing to advance their gain, to make sure this profit continues, the continuity in this benefit that these countries get? Can we get to know what these two countries are doing to advance their gain?
From the Nigerian side, I'm looking for, but unfortunately because of the war, my entire agenda, my sustainable development agenda was completely, or at least I put it aside, and I'm working, of course, to enhance our political situation right now. But again, to do something very significant, we should cooperate, Nigerian government with the Palestinian government, to sign a mutual or memorandum of understanding agreement to make sure that the Palestinian expert in those fields that I already talked about it, to come to Nigeria, and the environment, the investment environment, to be a bit suitable, because we have our own or our particular situation that need to be taken into consideration.
All right. I think I need to ask this question because it's very important. In every society, in every country, culture, religion, and politics are very vital tools. So is there any way politics, culture, and religion has actually cemented the relationship between Nigeria and, of course, Palestine?
Most relative advantage that we have it. The Church of Nativity is a pure Palestinian church. It's located in Bethlehem. The other, the main church in Jerusalem, I mean the Church of Tom in Jerusalem, is a pure Palestinian properties, and the keys is still on the hands of the Palestinians. So that when it came to the religious issue, all the Christians whom is going to a pilgrimage to Palestine, we can cooperate, and this is one of the issues that I'm working with a lot of Christian leaders to cooperate together for our mutual benefit. For example, Palestine became the Holy Land because of the Christians, because of the Jesus himself, alayhi salam, peace upon him. And as long as we have Christians, the Palestinian Christian there, very strong community, as long as this is the flavor of the Holy Land is still there, to make sure that they will continue to be there, we should together work together to maintain and to support their economic situation. To do so, I trust that when the pilgrimage, when the thousands of Nigerian Christians and African Christians going through our Christians company, using our Christians facilities, Palestinian Christians facilities, whether it is in the Palestinian territory or even in Israel, because there is the Palestinian Christian there or the Christian in Israel who is still holding the Israeli citizen is a Palestinian Christian. And anyhow, both of them or using their facilities is very important to maintain and to strengthen their economic situation.
Because of the mutual relationship that we have, Nigeria has with Palestine, have there been ways, or do you have ways that you would want to advance?
Nigeria have a very heavy political weight all around the globe, not only in Africa continent. Nigeria can utilize, and it is doing so, utilize its heavy political weight to push forward the peace process itself, to push forward more, to pressure Israel more, to put an end to its continuous aggression. We trust that Nigeria can do, and is already did. Nigeria already did a lot of a great job towards the peace, but still it is leverage. They can do something more brilliant and more strong in this regard, and I'm pretty sure they will do so. Also, October 13 to 17, the International Parliamentary Union will be adopted, or the Assembly of the International Parliamentary Union will be gathered in Geneva. And there is a resolution that Palestine gonna submit it to be adopted by the Assembly. We look forward to Nigerian Parliament to support especially this resolution came as a step forward to the resolution that was adopted 2 weeks ago in the United Nations General Assembly, and Nigeria voted positively voted yes on it.
It's been a very wonderful time on Diplomatic Perspective today, and it's so exciting having the ambassador to the Palestinian state right here today, talking about Abu Shawesh. And of course, I'm so excited that you are also part of Diplomatic Perspective. Try and join us again for the next edition, as we will have so many other things to discuss on Diplomatic Perspective. My name is Ramsey Enoch. Bye-bye for now.